I saw the new Model 03. I don't know whether to be scared or excited. That thing is very powerful. Yassine, I like the way you put that. I think that you are presenting an accurate view of how a lot of people are feeling this morning, right? I think a lot of people would share that same sentiment, right? Because that's it can be scary. It can be scaring. It can be intimidating. It can also be exciting. And yes, you're right. It's very powerful, right? It's very powerful. If you look at the scores and the scales that they have shown, they have even beaten themselves, right? When you look at the comparisons to the 4.0 or their existing tools, I mean, they have beaten their own scores by a large margin, right? So personally, I am excited, Yassine, because I see their power. I see their power. I see their benefit. Very excited from a data scientist perspective. But I'm also cautious. I'm also scared. Scared is a better word. And I think there's reasons to be scared on two fronts. One, what does it mean for people's jobs? And when I say jobs, I'm talking about not just entire companies, but I'm talking entire industries, right? Entire industries will be affected. I am not a fan of universal basic income, but I have heard universal basic income floated around as some of the AI initiatives out there, and I kind of see it. I kind of see how AI would kind of need to result in some sort of universal basic income. There's going to be a lot of people affected, right? So I'm kind of concerned for that. That's the first part that kind of makes me scared. The second part that makes me scared is, what does this mean on a global basis? When you think beyond companies and industries, you start thinking about regions and countries. What does this mean for countries that are going to have AI efforts versus not having AI efforts? There's entire countries out there that have no AI research or AI development or integrations or investments going on, right? They don't have the people, they don't have the data centers, they don't have whatever, right? Whatever it is that they need. Governmental support, electrical infrastructure, right? What does that mean? What does that look like? Yes, I get it. Some of these models are open source, so countries won't fall too far behind. But will they fall behind? Yeah, maybe. Right? So that's kind of a little bit of a meta view that I'm taking. What does it mean for developing nations that don't have AI infrastructure or AI knowledge? Future kind of gets a little scary, right? Like, it's not just haves and have-nots, right? As much as I hate that term, it's not just haves and have-nots. It's that those gaps will become exponentially bigger, not just now, but in the years ahead. As AI grows, those gaps are going to be growing at an exponential rate, not a linear rate, right? So that worries me. What does that mean for the future of the world, right? Like, in the scariest scenarios in my mind, and maybe it gets more scary, but to me, in the scariest scenarios, I know that in other countries, nationalizing certain companies is a common thing, but in the US, we don't do that. We don't have nationalized companies. But I could see how somebody would want to make that argument of, hey, maybe we need to nationalize OpenAI. Maybe OpenAI shouldn't be able to export its tools, right? Maybe OpenAI needs to be a US only company. How scary is that, right? So those are the things that I need, that worry me, right? So I'm excited. I'm happy I get to live in these times. I am embarrassed for the influencers and academics and all those idiots on social media who just don't know any better. I mean, they're dinosaurs. But at the same time, I'm fearful. I'm fearful for people's jobs, people's entire industries, and I'm fearful for the countries that are going to fall behind. Right? Countries are literally in the in danger of falling behind. So that, I think that's a concern. Yassine says, I totally agree. We are exactly at the start of a very big revolution, a very game-changing one. Yeah, absolutely, Yassine. Absolutely. And, you know, people tend to be very narcissistic, very local. So when you tell that to somebody, they're going to say, yeah, you know, my job's going to change, or I'm going to be a prompt specialist. But I see that this having so many more like meta implications, right? The meta game here is some countries will have AI, others will not, and the ones that don't are going to fall behind, and they're going to fall behind very quickly. And that's scary. That's super scary.